Let's talk about a bucket list achievement. I want to introduce you to Danielle Wolfson, the first Israeli woman to climb the 7 highest summits across the globe's 7 continents. Everest in Asia, Kilimanjaro in Africa, Elbrus in Europe, Denali or Mount McKinley in North America, Aconcagua in South America, Vinson Massif in Antarctica, of course, and finally Kosciusko here in Oz. She's dedicated her latest climb to the hostages held by Hamas in Gaza.
Bring them home now! Bring them home now! Bring them home now!
Danielle Wolfson joins me now live from Melbourne. Great to talk to you, Danielle. We'll talk about Gaza in a moment, but let's start off on your achievement. You got up Kosciusko in the past couple of days. You saved the easiest mountain till last.
Yes, a few days ago I stood on Mount Kosciusko, the highest peak of Australian continent, and actually I completed my 7 summit project and became the first Israeli woman. Actually, I did it twice. First, I climbed Kosciusko Mountain with Jewish community all together in order to wave our, of course, Israeli flag, and also to put a sign, big sign, and to ask from all over the world that they will see that still we have more than 133 women, men, hostages in Gaza. And we want to ask from everybody, please bring them now. Please speak about it. There is a woman there every day sitting there more than 180 days. No food, no air, underground in the tunnels. And also are abused sexually every day. We need to ask everybody. It doesn't matter even if you're Jewish or not Jewish.
No, indeed. We've highlighted that this week on the program. I talked about it at the top of the program today, and I showed some of the individuals still unaccounted for, as you say, over 130 of them in Gaza. And I can't believe that the whole world isn't focusing on those people at the front of this debate all day, every day. Tell us about the 7 Summits Challenge and just how difficult it is, because obviously climbing Mount Kosciusko, I don't want to demean it too much, it's a decent bushwalk, but it's not much more than that, right? Compared to the life-threatening challenge of getting onto the top of Mount Everest.
Of course, Mount Everest is the highest point of the world. It's like a roof of the world. And it took me like more than 63 days, the expedition to summit, to stand on the summit of the highest point of the world. It's a very, very exhausting, very tough expedition. And it's not even physically. It's like mental expedition. It's like 80% mentally, people climbing. And the most challenging mountain that I also stood there, I didn't have enough oxygen, and I actually could stay there forever. Like statistic telling about that, like more than 300 bodies over there stayed there forever. And during my expedition on the summit day, when I started descending from the summit at 8,700 meters, it's a death zone. And I stood there by myself with no oxygen, and I understood that everything can happen and I can stay there forever.
Incredible.
So it's very dangerous mountain. Yes.
It is. And look,
I succeeded to do it.
It's an incredible achievement, brilliant achievement. You're the first Israeli woman to do this, as you say, which is a fantastic feather in your cap. Now, I'm never going to climb Everest or Denali, Mount McKinley, these are higher mountains, but I'm interested to get your thoughts on Kilimanjaro, because that is something that is within the capabilities of reasonably fit and healthy people. And I've always dreamed of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Tell us about that experience.
Wow, Kilimanjaro, actually it was the first mountain from the 7 Summit project, but absolutely you can climb Mount Kilimanjaro. If you're fit and physically prepared, you can do it. It's not technique mountain, it's only 6,000 meter mountain. Yes, it's a high mountain, but there's no technical needs. And last month I took expedition with the people that we go memorial expedition, Kilimanjaro expedition. So it was even the oldest person on a Kilimanjaro, 69 years old. And we did it. I leader this expedition and succeeded to stand there. And of course, to wave our Israeli flag and to show people that we are all the time taking people that couldn't survive on that 7 October all the time with us. And we'll continue, of course, speak about them and not forget them.
It must be amazing in Kilimanjaro to go from that heaving tropical jungle and walk up and be in an alpine environment at the top after a few days. Just tell us, Danielle, are you going home to Israel now? What is the sense among your people about the hostages? I know there's enormous frustration at the government as well from some, but I mean, it must be the number one priority for all Israelis to get those hostages home.
It's a number one priority, and there's more than 133 people, still women and men, still there. And I just want to explain that we are Israeli and Jewish people not looking for the war. We never wanted to have a war. Like what we are doing now will only protect our home. We just protect our country, that it belongs to Israeli Jewish people. That's what we want. And on that Black Saturday, 7th of October, like they came, Hamas, ISIS people, and like salted babies, raped women, took men, everybody, civilians, not the army, not the soldiers, took everybody, and they are still there. If people can imagine, please imagine that a woman sitting there, no air, no food, are abused every day. And now you imagine and think that it can be every woman, every girl, of everybody. Everything can happen. And we are first priority. We do everything. And maybe a hostage is hearing us. So I would like to ask, so please, don't give up. Please.
Be strong.
Still
People are
have a
thinking
hope
of you.
that we will do.
Thank you, Danielle.
We will do everything.
Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate it. Danielle Wolfson there, an incredible achievement by her. And as you can see, very keen to dedicate it to those hostages who are still being held by Hamas in Gaza, who should be the focus of all international pressure at the moment.